Hollywood.
This is Hollywood, and there's not a place in the world that's like it.
Hollywood. Joe.
Man, I love this town.
Okay?
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi's out here, and we're shooting the paparazzi, okay? Now, I don't know who's here, but by golly, let's go here, see what we got. Lots of paparazzi, lots of people going on. Who is that guy?
The guy in front I thought was a security guard.
Yeah, I did too. I think that's, what's his name in it, from, he's got the movie with, oh, there he is. It's the guy there with the babies. What's his name?
Oh, Vin Diesel.
That was Ben, what's his name, Ben Diesel?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. That was Vin Diesel, I tell you. You know, that's what's cool about Hollywood, because you never know. You never know. I mean, you're driving up the boulevard and boy, the people you run into, it's pretty cool. So Vin Diesel, and I guess that was the premiere of his new movie there.
Babysitting something.
But this is Sunset Boulevard, and this is Sunset Boulevard down here. It's kind of benighted, you know. It's kind of where the real Hollywood people live, you know.
We're up on Hollywood now, aren't we?
Like I said, this is Hollywood Boulevard. I'm going to take you down to the Hollywood Mural. Now, this mural is famous in that it has about 50 incredible stars. And what I find incredible about this mural is that it has never, in my memory, been graffitied. How is that possible? There are two things in Hollywood that never get graffitied. This and the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Lady of Guadalupe, wherever. If it's religious, it's not going to get graffitied, okay? Charlie Pride.
I got that finger.
That's Charlie
finger.
Pride.
Now watch this. There's the trick.
Thanks, Charlie. Charlie Pride, country and western singer. You know, a lot of people don't realize Charlie Pride's black. Well, he does, and sometimes he walks by the Hollywood mural. I'm just kidding about that, okay? That was a young gentleman who I don't know. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hollywood mural. Now, as I said before, the most famous thing about this mural is that there has never been any graffiti ever. For some reason, sorry, it's okay, we're doing it more. For some reason or other, this mural stays clean, marvelous, but we're at Wilcox in Hollywood Boulevard, and a lot of people come down here. They seem to be mostly from Japanese, Japan and such, and they come down here and really take pictures of this thing. But anyway, it speaks for itself. Anybody who's anybody here is up on this mural. I love this, and you could tell the bigger the star, the bigger their portrait. I mean, you got Liz Taylor and James Dean, and here's the man, Bogey. When you said Bogey, you know, you saw him in my living room if you caught that program. I love with this guy. I wake up to his portrait every morning. It's the last thing I see before I go to sleep. One of the greatest actors in the world, Humphrey Bogart. Well, it used to be anyway. Lauren Bacall did The Big Sleep with Bogey. They fell in love, and of course the rest is history. She was married to him until he died. A lot of greats. Clark Gable, Katharine Hepburn, Earl Flynn, John Wayne. Wow. You're all here. I hope you recognize some of the faces in the back. If you look behind Janis Joplin, it's Janis Joplin, by the way. Behind Janis Joplin, we got all the Marx Brothers there. And Elvis Presley to your right of the Marx Brothers. Of course, Brando here from the Wild Ones right in front. Yeah. My God, Fatty Arbuckle. They're all here. They're all here. They're all here. Steve Reeves is here. Of course, they're all here, except moi, Joe Estevez. So I'm going to squeeze myself in right here between James Dean and W.C. Fields. Kind of appropriate that a garbage truck should be coming by at that time. But anyway, stuck myself in here. Peace, love from Hollywood, the Hollywood mural. Let's move on.
I love comedy. I grew up watching Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball, and those are my favorite. Those are my idols.
How do you convince a 14-year-old girl that hair doesn't matter? When the diagnosis is childhood cancer, where can parents turn?
Oh, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Where have you been?
I lost my cat.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, so I made this cat magnet to try and get him back.
Cool. Does it work?
Kinda.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's not my cat. Gotta keep working on it. See ya.
See ya.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org.
Welcome home, man.
I'm here with a lady who literally needs no introduction. She's an international star. She's been a star since she was a baby, which I guess is the last 20 years. But she's a darling. I'd like to introduce to you Linda Blair. Linda, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us.
Joe, I wouldn't miss it for all the tea in China. As a matter of fact, wasn't it the Philippines that we worked in? Where were we?
For too long, yeah, but it was not enough time with you, Linda. But it was a great time, the Philippines, for me.
I think that, I know for me, traveling around the world, and especially someplace like the Philippines, I mean, that's how you and I were able to develop a close relationship. We got along so well and had a good time while doing our professional job. And that's why I'm here today, because you're my friend.
Thank you. Linda, gosh, you were a star at such a young age. Did you choose acting? Did acting choose you?
I started working in New York doing modeling and commercials, which is completely different than California with film and television. So by the time I hit 12, I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this anymore. Modeling is really hard, or it was back then. You know, you did summer clothes in the winter, winter in the summer, so you were either really, really hot or really, really cold. And children, you know, that's no fun. So that was at the same time that the interview for The Exorcist came along. Here it is, the #1 novel and film. Then everything just took over. Business, I think, really was what took over more than me saying, oh, hey, I want a career in this. I had no idea, because by the time people knew who I was 15 years old. And so I didn't make that decision. I didn't say, oh, I want to go do Born Innocent now. Oh, I want to go do Sarah T. Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic. Oh, I want to be the most controversial teenager. Now I think teenagers actually make those choices. I didn't. But I was in films that I'm so proud of today. I don't think anybody could possibly imagine what it's like to be have that type of popularity. And they think, oh, but that should be so wonderful. But it's not wonderful when some people are wanting to be near you for the wrong reasons. And they would tell stories because I really wasn't a wild teenager as they depicted in the press, but it sure sounded fun to write. It was more interesting to write that because it sells the headlines. So I learned at a young age about irresponsible journalism.
You seem to have become the complete woman very fast. You learned who Linda Blair was very quickly, it seems, and you learned how to handle that.
I was not going to let the press or the public tell me who I was. I wanted to know who I was. I've always been a very spiritual person, and that to me, it's different than religious. I don't believe the four walls of an institution are what define our spiritual journey. It's your heart, how you treat others, finding out. I'm a nature girl, a la the park. And that is how it helped me to find who I was.
I believe that you actually you didn't break your back, but your back was literally broken on that movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
There are a lot of special effects in the film that way back then had to be done with actual physical apparatus, like a magic show. Whereas now they can do certain things with computer generation that they couldn't do then, which is why I think the film has stood up for so long, because back then people were like, how do we do it? Well, some of the equipment, in order to make me sit up and down really fast or jump up and down off the bed, I was tied in, wrapped into a lot of this stuff, and the rigging came loose. So it was pushing me around and slamming into my back. So as I would go forward, sitting up, and then backwards and forwards, and it was slamming into my lower back, which fractured my lower spine. Now, Warner Brothers tried to cover that up, and my mother, we didn't do the x-rays, we didn't do anything. It wasn't until years later that we found the fracture. Yeah. And young people can heal pretty quickly, but it then made me develop scoliosis. And that's why, a lot of people know I do a lot of work to help others, human and animal welfare, because I've been through my own problems and my own physical journey. So yes, the film, and there's nothing you can do. You can't go back and say, oh, hey, I'm going to sue you now because you broke my back. There's nothing. You just find what you can do and make the most of it. But yeah, that wasn't very fun. Well, when I was younger, people used to always pick on me, and the press especially. If you I've never been but maybe 20 pounds heavier, but I had all the back problems, and it compressed my joints, caused me a lot of physical pain, but it also made me retain water. And so the press would make fun of me, and that wasn't fair. Now, see? Look at that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Linda, you look. Can we see that just one more time?
You'll see more of Linda Blair in our next episode of Hollywood Joe.
On any summer evening, there are some of the greatest talents in the whole world that perform on this stage.
Hello. Yes. Can I ask a few questions about the apartment on Park Street?
What was your name?
My name is Juan Hernandez.
It's been rented.
Oh, it's gone. Hello, my name is Sanjay Kumar. I am calling about the apartment on Park Street.
It's not available.
Not available?
Hello, my name is Tyrone Washington. I'm calling about the apartment on Park Street.
Just been rented.
Hello, I am Chen Ling. My name is Khalid bin Ali. I'm Tuan Vo.
Hello, my name is Moshe Goldberg. I use a wheelchair.
It's gone. Not available. All right. Thank you.
Yes, hello, my name is Graham Wellington. I'm calling about the apartment for rent on Park Street. Is that still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Really?
Housing discrimination is illegal. If you think you've been a victim because of your race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, or family status, call us. Fair housing. It's not an option. It's the law.
Hey! Hey! What is your problem, man?
You're welcome.
What the heck is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Don't give me that! All right. What's going on here, fellas?
The missile was about to hit the school. I just acted as fast as I could.
That doesn't change the fact that I don't have a car anymore. Who just throws a person's car at a missile?
You're serious?
Yeah. Who's gonna pay for my car?
I guess I could.
Do you even have a real job?
Yes.
Do you have insurance?
I saw the whole thing. Call me.
I'm standing here out on Sunset Boulevard. Over there's the famous Whiskey A Go-Go. This whole boulevard is famous. Construction all over the place. But behind me is the famous, or the infamous, Viper Room. Now there's many stories that have gone on behind the doors here at the Viper Room. Johnny Depp used to own this place. Quite frankly, I don't know if he still does. You know, Michael Madsen tells the story of finishing a movie and going to a rap party here and having two hooligans attack him in the restroom. Well, he tore up the two hooligans. Michael Madsen's a pretty big guy. But in doing so, he tore up the restroom. Well, you know, Johnny Depp didn't know what was happening and asked Michael Madsen to leave, which he did after he finished his beer and had a few choice words to say about Johnny Depp. Well, anyway, long story short, they don't talk to each other anymore, and it's just the managers. And Johnny Depp's manager said to Michael Madsen's, "I thought Michael loved me." Well, maybe he does. He's just not talking to you, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, I love you, though, man. Always did. And I'll talk to you on the street anytime. Anyway, the Viper. And the Viper really has a really much darker side to it. The spot that I'm standing on, ladies and gentlemen, the exact same spot is where River Phoenix breathed his last breath. Now, the story goes that River Phoenix had nothing to do with drugs. If anything else, he was anti-drug. He was here one night with his friends. He was kind of uptight, kind of feeling kind of tense. His friend said, "Well, we'll give you something to relax you." Well, I guess, you know, River, not wanting to be a party pooper or whatever, took what they gave him. Went into the restroom, started convulsing, started vomiting, started hallucinating. He came back out through the door. His friends saw that he was in dire straits. They brought him out onto the sidewalk where he died. Right here on this spot. Now, sad that his last words were on this spot, "I'm gonna die." And simple, plain, but nonetheless true. River Phoenix, he was 24 years old. He was, at the time of his death, the #1 hottest actor in Hollywood. He was touted as being the real next James Dean. He wasn't a pretender. Man, this guy, I don't know what else he could do, but this dude could act. He made his breakthrough film, My Own Private Idaho. And from there, man, everybody wanted a piece of River Phoenix. Unfortunately, his career ended early at the age of 24. And you know, I'm not particularly superstitious, but it was Halloween night, October 31st. So I don't know if that's a particularly unlucky night, but it certainly was for River Phoenix. Well, here we are at a place that really needs no introduction in Hollywood. This is the Hollywood Bowl. Can you imagine performing on this stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people? What an incredible rush this must be. This is a literal, actual bowl, and the seats were just placed in here. What a marvelous structure this was. You know, a little sideshow to this place. 100 years ago, a little sideshow to this place, 100 years ago, there was a Mexican bandit that was captured over here on the side of the hill. And he tried to escape, and he's got his backside filled with buckshot. Tigales Martinez, I think that is his name. Anyway, and that 100 years ago was what this bowl was famous for. But of course, a great opera singer of the day 70 years ago came and said she had to sing in this bowl because the acoustics were so very well. And her patron paid $21,000 for this place. Can you imagine today, $21,000? But what an incredible structure. I don't know, John, if you can get the different acoustics and such up here. It's quite a beautiful place. And the beautiful thing, another beautiful thing about the Hollywood Bowl, these are the box seats, literally, and for obvious reasons, they're boxes. But up there in the cheap seats, there's not a bad seat in this place. There's no poles or anything that will block your view. And those seats are a couple of bucks. You come up here, pay you a couple of bucks, you park your car, you bring a box lunch, you sit up here with your family, with your kids. On any summer evening, there are some of the greatest talents in the whole world that perform on this stage. And I think, personally, it's one of the greatest deals, entertainment deals in the world, right here, right in Hollywood, right at the Hollywood Bowl. It's quite a structure. And as you see now, the season, I think, is gearing up. It starts in April. It runs to October. This today, we're shooting is towards the end of May. So they're working to get this place in order and get ready for their summer show. And if you want to find out about the Hollywood Bowl, well, just get on the internet, Hollywood Bowl, and you see who's playing here, when, et cetera, and it's really accessible. If I was a tourist, I was coming to Hollywood, this would be one of my first stops. Hollywood Bowl, what a great structure. You know, I've always wanted to perform at the stage of the Hollywood Bowl, and there was a few things that were preventing it. And not the least of which was that I can't sing. But by golly, I'm not going to let that stop me now. It is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood, this is for you. You know, it's the first song that I ever learned in my life, and I'm going to sing it for you now. Now I'm a fellow with a heart of gold, and the ways of a gentleman I've been told. The kind of guy that wouldn't even harm a flea. But me and that certain character met, how that guy invented that cigarette and murdered that son of a gun in the first degree. Yeah. Now, not that I don't smoke myself. I smoked all my life and ain't dead yet. But nicotine parties are all the same, whether it's a gambling party or a poker game. Everything must stop when I smoke that cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, puff, puff it if you smoke yourself to death. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hate to make him wait, but you just got to have another cigarette. I tell you, I'm gonna leave it there because if you've stayed with me this long, I'm not gonna punish you any further. But I did it, man. I performed at the Bowl, and I want to thank my mother and my father and all those people that helped get me here. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I had an old friend that said, He's a circus entertainer, and he said if you give a performance, but you take a bow. Well, I gave my performance. I'm going to take my bow. Thank you!